Hey, everybody. It is May 3rd, 2026. It's Joe from the Strange Voyage Files, and kind of doing something that all started with this thing. I think this was my last video or one of my last videos, where this little Dio box set came out. I have the album one that I did the video on, The Decade of Dio, but this is the CDs, and I think this may have recently been released. And again, it's cheap. This is like 35 bucks. So I was wondering if anybody else had this. And now with Dio, I'm a hard and heavy Dio fan. So I will, I also have the CDs that are in jewel cases. I have that Holy Diver Super Deluxe Edition. When they released the other ones, I'm going to get those as well. So Dio, I got this thing kind of just to be a completist. And also I wanted, what are these, the 2016 remasters or something like that. I wanted to have those on CD. So, but then I kind of went down a little rabbit hole, and I was like, I wonder who else has um, these kind of collections. And so far, I found two, and I'm seeing that some of these artists are releasing albums um, in these little collections. They're definitely not box sets. And these two, Alice did like the first 10 albums. And these are awesome because I love Alice Cooper. Um, and, obviously albums like Killer and $1 Billion Babies and Welcome to My Nightmare, things like that, I have listened to and I, enjoy. But, guys, I'm going to be honest with you. Easy Action, um, Muscle of Love, Alice Cooper Goes to Hell. I couldn't even tell you. I mean, without a doubt, it has been decades since I've listened to those albums. So they're not anything I would probably ever go out and buy on CD. I have them digitally, and for me that would be fine. Pretty's for You. I listened to this when I did that ranking of best first albums. This was actually, I should have listened to this again. But these are really cool. These are, and they look like the album. There's no insert. There's no. So if you really want that, this is not for you. But the CD, and they're the originals. They're not remastered. They're not anything like that. But for somebody like me who is an Alice fan, but I'm not an Alice fan where I'm gonna listen to, albums constantly. And again, decades will go by where I mean, truthfully, I couldn't. And obviously, the songs, I honestly, I would not be surprised if it was the 90s was the last time I listened to Easy Action. I mean, it's just true. So for me, things like this, these are great. These were 25 bucks each. So for 50 bucks, you get 10 albums. One of them, the last one is the Alice Cooper Show, the live show. um, I like Welcome to My Nightmare. I have on CD. $1 Billion Babies. I have. I think I think those two are like a deluxe edition. And I do have all of Alice's albums because I used to go to the library and rip them to my computer, so I have them all. I take that back. I don't have a lot of the recent ones. I don't have and that's kind of what this goes into too. This is kind of why I wanted to do this video because, now I do have the ripped versions of Brutal Planet and Along Came a Spider and Dragon Town, like albums that I listened to once when I first ripped them from the library, and then never listened to them again. I couldn't I couldn't name a song. I couldn't and that's why I've never done an Alice Cooper ranking. Because anything I would do at this point would be rushing through albums, and it just wouldn't be fair to you guys. It would be a BS ranking. That's probably, I got 10 years before I can retire. That'd probably be the first thing I do when I retire, or one of the first things. And then another one I found, which I guess we can unbox too, because I've left it in the wrapper, is Deep Purple. I'm a very fair weather Deep Purple fan. Um, You know, obviously I've listened to In Rock, um, Fireball. I've listened to Machine Head. I've listened to, and then parts of the other ones. But this is the complete album, 70 to 76. So, this was $50. So you're getting one, two, three, four, five, six, seven, eight. Again, 10 albums for $50. And what are CDs? CDs are like, depending on where you buy. Like when I go to Rolling Stones, you could get some. You could absolutely get some CDs for $5.99 at Rolling Stones. They're on the back wall, but usually they're going to be 11, $12. So you're getting like five. Again, I hate math. You're getting like five or so CDs free. It's a Japanese import. It's all in Japanese. So I'm not going to keep this hype sticker. So let's see. I mean, I'm assuming this is kind of like the Dio because the Dio ones are in just like little plastic sleeves too. Assuming that's what this is going to be. See how this opens up. The keyboard. But here you go. This is great for me because I would never go out and buy, and I do not have the Deep Purple albums. Yep, same thing. I did not go out and buy the Deep Purple albums, and I would not. But for this price, absolutely. Absolutely. In fact, I got to rip a bunch of these to my computer now. I love this idea. I love that they're doing this. And I would imagine that the logic behind it is they know the vast majority, this is like election night. 99% of the counties are in. 99% of the Deep Purple fans that are going to buy these have already bought them. And probably bought them in several different versions. So for people like me, who again, fair weather Deep Purple fan, this is great. This is absolutely fabulous. I'm definitely more of an Alice Cooper fan, but I don't listen to Alice like I listen to Ozzy, or I listen to Dio, or I listen to Iron Maiden, or Kiss, or the first 5 Def Leppard albums. And some of these bands I would never get box sets for, the real box sets. But this is fabulous. I'd love to, like Led Zeppelin. Again, I have Houses of the Holy on vinyl. I don't have any Led Zeppelin CDs. Again, very much a fair weather Led Zeppelin fan. If they did something like this, it would be great. I'd get that because I do want physical media. I hate the streaming. I mostly listen to music from what I've ripped on my computer. But they have done this where it can disappear. It can disappear off Spotify. It can disappear. They have with Van Halen, where there was something going on between Dave and Wolfgang, I think, or Dave and Alex, whoever it was. But albums were starting to disappear. Well, this way you have them. And there's a lot of back and forth. I've done a lot of research. How long do CDs last? How long do CDs last? How long do CDs last? And they can last, you'll never get a definitive answer, but 50 to 100 years. All right, if this was just pressed 10 years ago, this is definitely outlasting me. The CDs that I have rebought that are those original versions, they're still playing. So it's all about how you keep them, as long as they're not in a super hot environment. They could last a century. So, I mean, really, CD-wise, I only have a couple that are actually worth a lot as far as leaving them to the girls. So, if I go, I'm sure they're going to get rid of the CD collection. The vinyl they'll keep the vast majority of the vinyl they'll keep for the long haul. But look, or they'll keep them as long as they'll still play. So this is great. I'd love for I have all the Kiss and whatnot. Again, I'd love for like Led Zeppelin to do something like this. I would buy that in a second. Maybe they have. I haven't even looked. If you're not a Black Sabbath fan, this would be fabulous for Black Sabbath to do. Black Sabbath has box sets out, but they're some of are insanely priced. There is a what there I just saw it on eBay. I didn't even know this thing existed. It was like, oh, the family's home. If you hear them screaming in the background, there is a Black Sabbath album box set. It's the albums, and it's like this I'm never gonna buy. I have really come to the end of the, I will get the Kiss box sets, the CDs, because the albums are insanely, and the Sabbath ones as they come out. But beyond that, no. But there's a Sabbath box set. I'm not gonna look for it right now, but it has like the old time record sleeve label on the box. It's like $4,000 for these albums. Absolutely insane. Absolutely insane. And I will still buy box sets of, the Black Sabbath and whatnot. But this is such a great economical. Another band that I wish I would love to do it. Aerosmith. And again, I have every single Aerosmith album. I do have several CDs. But like I don't have Night in the Ruts. I don't have which although I bet I could go to Rolling Stones and get them. But this also saves space. I'm running out of space in my room. These are 10 albums for the size of like if you put this together 3 CDs. 10 albums, again, 3 CDs. So I'm kind of running out of space in my room. I don't have Night in the Ruts. I don't have Done with Mirrors on CD. I don't have I don't think I have Get Your Wings on CD. I have it on vinyl, I know that. And again, I haven't ripped. Had it, but again, when I sold my CD collection, that went the way of the dodo bird. God, I don't even know. Maybe I don't even have... I don't have Toys in the Attic. Maybe I don't even have Rocks. I know I don't have Draw the Line on CD. So I would love something like that. And yeah, I got the Aerosmith box set. But again, that was affordable. That was the CD one was affordable. So, I mean, there's just so many bands. And again, if you're getting into Kiss, this would be great for Kiss. How many... Yes, us lunatics are gonna buy When the Love Gun box set comes out and all the rest of them and whatnot. But which I'm hoping is going to come out this year because Love Gun was released in '76. Love Gun and Rock and Roll Over, right? Where's Destroyer? Oh, now I gotta pull out this. Now I gotta pull out the keyboard because now I'm. No, maybe it was Destroyer. That was '76. All right, I gotta pull out the thing. Love Gun. 77. Okay, so that's next year. But was Rock and Roll Over 76? Rock and Roll Over 76. We already have a Destroyer box set. So let's get a Rock and Roll Over box set out. Let's get that out. But again, if you're not a Kiss fan and you're just getting into Kiss, this is awesome. Do this. We're still gonna buy the box sets, and the people who are Kiss fans, they have them. They have the CDs. And Kiss really hasn't focused on. Well, I shouldn't say that because they did do deluxe edition. I shouldn't say they haven't focused on CDs because I do have a bunch of deluxe edition CDs. I think they're focusing more on the box sets now. I don't know how many more CD, deluxe edition CDs we're gonna get. But I mean. And again, I think this, obviously what I'm seeing, this is different because this was, I think, part of, a specialty box set that was coming out. Not part of, but in conjunction with it. But I see a lot, I'm assuming we're going to see a lot of this from our 70s bands. Not an Ozzy fan. This would be great. My God. 80, it's Blizzard of Oz for the first 2 albums, but Blizzard of Oz featuring Ozzy Osbourne, and then from 83 on, Ozzy Osbourne. really, if you started with Blizzard of Oz and ended with No More Tears for a little set like this, it'd be fabulous. It'd be absolutely fabulous. So, again, I just kind of wanted to share that. And again, these are not remasters or anything. They're the originals, which I kind of prefer anyway. Yeah. I hope we see more of these little collections. These little, what is it? This is the complete album, 70 to 76. What's this one? This is the original album series, volume 2. For me, if Alice did this with his entire catalog, I would love this, but I think this came out a while ago. This came out in oh god, 2016. Yeah, probably it's all we're gonna get from them. But whatever, it works. Um, cool. You know what I'm gonna do next? I really think is I got this on eBay. Look at this. I'm gonna do like a Godfather retrospective. Maybe not next, but in the very near future. This is that complete epic. This is a bootleg, total bootleg. But this is HBO did this. It said. And I didn't watch because it's 7.5 hours. But I did like skip through chapters to make sure it was good. Got it on eBay. But this is the complete epic 1901 through 1959, and it's in chronological order. Like I think AMC did it. I think like ABC did it because my dad had these on VHS, and they were copied for him. But this is in chronological order, and it says with all like 45 minutes of deleted scenes, all the deleted scenes. So I can't wait to just have a day where I can sit and watch this. But I gotta do a Godfather. I love The Godfather. My dad could. Oh my God, my father. He was 100% Italian. The Godfather over and over. But all right, yeah. So these little sets. Let me know in the comments if there's other ones you found that maybe you suggest. Whitesnake would be another great one for me. I'm not going to go out and buy all the Whitesnake CDs. I would buy Whitesnake like this. So, all right, let me know what you think of these things. Have you guys gotten them? Are they? I mean, definitely economical, but are they something that you're interested in? Is this like? All right, that was 2016. When did this come out? Nah, this isn't even going to say it. So what do was this a passing fad? Did I just hop on the bandwagon a few years too late? Let me know. All right. Like, subscribe, and I will see ya.